Jared back with here. In today's video, we're going to look at my EEG where I do an overnight recording. In the beginning, here I'm doing a tap test where I tap on each one of the wires just to ensure they're in the right spots. Now here at F4, we've got some clear eye blink artifacts. Beautiful, guys. We know the machine is working correctly and it's ready to record my sleep. So right here, I'm just moving around, trying to get situated. I remember I had to change my laptop so it would go dark, but not fall asleep and shut off. So I was probably setting that up here. That's why there's all this muscle artifact, muscle noise, that high frequency stuff. That's not my brain waves. It's covering up my brain waves. So we can't really see too much right now. So as we scroll on, here, I start to relax a little bit, and we can count my background rhythm at 02, and we have about probably around 11 waves per second at 02 with my eyes closed and relaxed. So there we could see it pretty well. Now here, eyes open again, muscle noise comes back. As we scroll through, I'm probably getting situated still, as we can still see the muscle noise. Seeing that eye blink artifact and also this muscle noise, it's a good clue that the eyes are open and we can't see the posterior dominant rhythm at 02, that 8 to 12 waves per second, until the eyes are closed. So here it is. Here's when I close my eyes and we have a reactive posterior dominant rhythm. That's when the background rhythm, that 8 to 12 waves per second, in my case, if we count the waves per second at 02, we're looking at about 11 per second. So we got a normal, reactive PDR, or posterior dominant rhythm, that appears with eyes closing. Yep, here we go. Label it 11 hertz, reactive PDR. Quick commercial break sponsored by me. If you want free EEG board prep questions, go to eegboardprep.com, try out my practice app, and if you like it, you can always upgrade to the full version with the full 234 questions with all the categories that are found on the real EEG board exams. Try the free demo questions today. It may be what helps you pass first try. Right back to the EEG. Here at 02, we see some crazy activity. It's just the back of my head touching the pillow, making it go a little wonky. So don't worry, it's not epileptic activity. It's not eye blinks like seen at F4. It is artifacts, stuff not coming from the brain. Here's a nice, beautiful view of the posterior dominant rhythm, relaxed, eyes closed while awake. Here we're about 13 minutes in. I'm starting to get a little bit more relaxed. Hopefully we can start to see some transition into stage 1 sleep and then hopefully stage 2 with the sleep spindles. And let's see, now we're about 17 minutes in. Hopefully I'll fall asleep soon. I know it took me maybe about half an hour to fall asleep. Let's see when we can. Oh, here's a little burst of theta activity. Maybe that's a sign we're starting to get into stage 1 sleep, finally starting to get really drowsy, starting to transition into that actual state of sleep. Now, definitely starting to transition. Now, what we're going to look for to know we're actually asleep and we're in stage 2, we're going to want to look for sleep spindles, and that's primarily going to show up at around C4 area. Also going to show up pretty well at F4 as well. So right now I'd say around stage 1 as of now. No clear sleep spindles or anything, but as we start to go deeper into the EEG, we're eventually going to get to them, because I remember I didn't have any crazy arousals during this overnight recording. Oh, there we go, guys. Sleep spindles. It took me around 35 minutes to fall asleep, or to get into stage 2 sleep. Beautiful, guys. Beautiful. Textbook. I got a textbook brain, and I think I saw some vertex waves, sharp waves. In a full brain recording in the hospital, those are best seen at CZ, but since we're using just a right side setup, just a couple electrodes, the main ones actually used in sleep studies. Well, this isn't a replacement for a sleep study. This is, let's say, modeled on a real sleep study. We don't have any EMG electrodes. We're also not counting respiration, stuff like that, but we have the main electrodes and also EKG as well. So this is my mini sleep experiment, guys. While this is still an early circuit board version, it's not for patient use yet, or for epilepsy patients, not ready for that, not ready for the big leagues yet. But from this brain recording, it seems like I'm making really good progress. I'm able to record all my sleep stages, and this is a good intermediate, I think, step for me to take so I can go from helping people record their sleep. People are interested in recording their sleep stages. You know, there's so many people with those Oura rings, stuff like that record their sleep. You know, they just put it on their finger. They're not really recording their sleep stages. No sleep structures are being recorded from your finger. None of that. They give you a magic score when you wake up, 82. It's not that in-depth, guy. You can only get so much data recorded from your finger, and that's why it's so important to actually record your brainwaves if you want detailed sleep tracking info. So this is like a Oura ring on steroids, guys. Well, right here we got this spiky activity. What is this? Epileptic spike? Nope, it's probably just some kind of arousal, just me slightly moving and causing that spike on the record. In the hospital, if you're trying to determine if something's artifact or real epileptic spike, when in doubt, I'd lean towards artifact. You'd want to see multiple examples of it so you can be sure, oh, this isn't just a quick movement that tricks me into thinking it's actually epileptic activity when it's actually just noise on the record. So a lot of reading EEG is being able to differentiate between what is noise and what is actually brain activity, because all the noise on the record is superimposed or on top of the actual brain waves. It's like learning a whole new language, so it takes probably at least a year to get familiar with all the fundamentals, and you can be confident in that. And it probably takes up to 4 years, essentially similar to a college degree, to where you're super confident. Like, you know you won't miss anything important. And you know you'll start to recognize even the not so common normal variants, stuff like that, SSS, small sharp spikes, some stuff like lambda waves in the occipital region. You'll be able to see mu rhythms, pretty basic one. That one you'd probably see in the first year or be able to recognize that. That one is in C4 or C3, and it goes away when the person thinks about moving the opposite hand or the contralateral limb. It's pretty interesting, mu rhythm. Now, I'm going off on a little tangent here, but I'm essentially saying it takes a while to learn to read EEGs. I'm not perfect myself, but the main thing is I wouldn't miss anything obvious. For example, if the patient is constantly seizing or if they're having consistent periodic discharges, I'll be able to alert the doctor. Even if I don't have perfect ACNS critical care terminology, let's say it's 4 hertz spike and wave, but it's actually 3 hertz spike and wave with superimposed fast activity, something super specific like that. Even if it's a little off like that, the doctor's still going to look at it. The doctor's going to treat the patient. They're going to update the meds and ultimately, hopefully stop the patient from seizing or having that epileptic activity. So even if you're not perfect, don't be afraid to speak up. Tell the doctor if you think you see something abnormal, or ask your EEG tech friends. That's something I do a lot too. I'm in the hospital. If I see something concerning, I'll ask one of my buddies and say, hey, what do you think about this? Here we made it to the end of my overnight EEG. I'm awake now. The last thing I want to show you guys is the hypnogram of my overnight sleep study. Now, I just recently learned what this is, so I think it's pretty cool. It shows the whole night of my sleep just on one page. It's kind of like the trends in epilepsy monitoring, but this is the sleep study version. So you see it starts out at W and then goes down to N1, stage 1 sleep, stage 2 sleep, stage 3 sleep, and it goes throughout the whole night, showing as I transition in and out of the stages of sleep. It also plotted all my microarousals. You can see in the middle of the night, sometimes it's spiked to the W, which means wake. I was able to plot all those from the muscle activity, the little movements in the middle of the night. And it also has all the sleep stages and the total time in each one. Pretty cool, guys. Thank you for watching.